Hi everybody, this is Jana from the blog Lucy and Matilda, and today we're going to make Jane's Hamburger Buns. Now usually I make these buns with just white flour, but today I'm going to introduce to you my new kitchen tool, and we're going to add whole wheat. So let's get started. Before we go and use the new kitchen tool, I will get my yeast started. So I have 2 cups of warm water here, and I'm going to add about 4 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of yeast, and whisk that up and get it going. And then we'll go and I'll show you my new tool. Okay, so I'll whisk it up. Okay, that's good enough. And when it gets foamy, it's ready to use. It's a way of getting your yeast pre-started or pre-rising before you put it in with the flour and the egg and oil and everything else you're using. Okay, let's go over to my new tool and I'll show you how it works. Okay, this is my new Como Mio grain mill, which, you know, I've been wanting a grain mill for probably 20 years, and I finally got one. And this one is made in Austria. I've set it to the most fine grind. It does a fantastic job. It's not super quiet, but that's okay because it takes just a few minutes to grind a bunch of wheat. So the recipe calls for 8 cups of flour, so we're going to add about 4 cups of freshly ground wheat and 4 cups of white flour. So what I do is I take the lid off. It's got this really cool wooden bowl on top. I turn it on, and then you add the wheat berries and it will grind. So basically with this machine, you have to turn it on first, then add the wheat berries. There, and you put the lid on to keep the hopper clean, and maybe I have about 4 cups there, I'm not sure. It smells and feels like it's warm, and it smells very good, kind of toasty and nutty. Okay, let's go back to the kitchen. Okay, so with the Bosch mixer, which is what we're going to use today to mix up the bread, you start with all of your liquids. So I'm gonna put in 3/4 of a cup of oil. This is my mother-in-law's recipe, by the way, and it's pretty tried and true. So hopefully I don't mess it up by adding, this is the first time I've added whole wheat flour, especially freshly ground, to this recipe. So we'll see how many actual cups of flour we need in there. Now 3 eggs. I'll put this over here. One, 2, and 3, and let's see, a tablespoon of salt. We'll throw that in right now too. I'm using sea salt. Usually I use that pink Himalayan salt, but I don't have any in my container. And we will dump in, see how well this is frothed up. That's what you want it to look like when you add it to your recipe. So now I have all the liquids in, and I'll start by adding 4 cups of freshly ground whole wheat flour. Let me grab a knife here. So I'll add 1, did I say 3 cups? I mean 4 if I said 3. 2. Let's just get in there and use my hands. 3, and I'll add 4. 4. Now I'm going to turn the mixer on, and we'll mix that together, and then we'll add white flour until it gets to be the right consistency. We'll lock it shut. Okay, so I mixed that together. Now, whole wheat flour, especially freshly ground, tends not to soak up as much of the liquid in your recipe, so you have to use a little more. But I'm making this recipe half and half, so I will end up using probably, instead of 4 cups of white, I might end up adding 5, we'll see. So I'll go grab my flour bin. Which is heavy and full of flour. Okay, so I'll start by adding the 4 cups that were meant to go in. 1, 2, 'kay. I'll turn it back on and we'll see what happens here. Lock it shut. Okay, let's take a peek, give it a little feel and see. It is a little sticky. I think I might add another half a cup of flour, of white flour. Sprinkle it around a little bit and try and mix it some more. My hands are sticky now. One of the things I really like about this Bosch mixer is that it has suction cups on the bottom of it. So basically, like I don't like to leave it running on the counter because I don't want it to ever fall. But I can just kind of be hands off and let it do its thing and mix and know that it's going to stay in one place. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, it's a little, I added a little bit too much, but it is mixing itself in. So I'll just let it run a little bit longer and maybe take it out and hand knead it a little bit. There we go. I turned it on high for a little bit, and that kind of loosened it up off of the implement, and now it is just right. So we take our blade out, or mixer, or bread hook, I think it's called, and I'll grab a bowl. And I'll put a smidge of oil in, maybe a tablespoon of oil. That will keep it from sticking to the bowl. And we will let it rise until it has doubled in size. So see how nice that is? I'll kind of form a bit of a ball, but you don't really need to. And what you do is you kind of drop it into your bowl and swirl it around, flip it over and swirl it around again. And then I'll get a tea towel out and we'll let it rise. Put the tea towel on top and let it rise in a relatively warm place for, it should take about an hour. Okay, so take a look at our risen dough. Doesn't it look great? So you just flip it out onto your counter. See how well it flips out because we oiled the bowl. And I'm going to cut it into 3 equal-ish chunks. Just do the best you can. That's a little bit off, but whatever. And then each piece into 8. So then you end up with 24 buns. We're having sloppy joes for supper tonight, so that's why I'm making these buns. And I thought I'd take you along for the ride. I'll just cut these up real quick. Okay, so I've got my, I think I have 24. I might have cut some a little bit too into too many pieces. So basically what you do is you just kind of stretch, turn, stretch, tuck under, turn, stretch, tuck under until you have a bun shape. And this is the bottom where I've tucked it under. And I will just make all these into buns. So tuck with your one hand and form with the other. So you're tucking and turning, and it becomes almost like a disc. Tuck and turn, tuck and turn. Okay, I forgot to tell you to grease your pans first. And I did get carried away. I think I cut an extra couple, but that's okay because somebody might want a small bun. And you just leave them on the pans, and in half an hour they should double. So set the timer for 30 minutes and walk away and go have a cup of tea or something, and then when you come back, they'll be ready to go in the oven. So you should turn your oven to 375 degrees, probably pretty soon, depending on how long your oven takes to warm up. Okay, we'll see you in a minute. Okay, so now we've let the buns rise for half an hour, and we will stick each tray in individually unless you have some kind of convection oven. Mine isn't convection, so I'm going to do it one at a time. For about 10 to 15 minutes, we will figure that out. I'll check them after 10 minutes and I'll see how they are. Okay, let's put them in the oven. Okay, so they came out after 15 minutes and they're perfectly done. So now we know that we can make whole wheat buns with Jane's hamburger bun recipe. Anyway, I'm going to just take these off, and I will say goodbye for now. And if you like this type of content, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button if you like it. And we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.